Congrats! This is Aurelio Paredes Bautista again. And today, I shall be talking to you about the virus, Amulet and protection. I shall tell you 2 episodes where I utilized the amulets. And if I mention a name, you may ask the person involved. So, let us begin. The first episode happened when I was working at Chipalay Mines in Negros Occidental. I was a superintendent of the Central Planning and Control Department. My son, Pierre Bautista, got sick of a viral encephalitis, and I went home to take him to Medical Center Manila. The neurologist was Dr. Rogelio Libarnes, a very kind and skillful doctor. My wife and I stayed in the hospital to take care of Beer. His case was worsening. I was told that very few survived this disease, and that it was very contagious because the nasty virus was involved. My wife and I were praying constantly. Then my wife got sick of fatigue and worry. On the day that Beer was scheduled for the taking of the spinal fluid to prove if there was a virus or not, my wife went home to rest and I was alone to take care of Beer. I prayed very, very hard that night and lay beside my son to sleep. I could have caught that virus also on that night. Prayer made me peaceful, and I noticed Beer was also very calm, which was a departure from the usual St. Vitus dance motion. He was constantly moving as a result of this disease. The next day, I woke up with Beer asking for food. He could speak. When weeks ago, he lost speech, hearing, and understanding. I was elated. My wife came to visit, and she was overjoyed by what happened. We were called to the office of Dr. Libarnes, and he announced that there was no virus in the spinal fluid. He said he did not cure my son. It was a miracle. I was impressed by his humility. This doctor I shall not forget. My son underwent 2 more years of consultation with Dr. Libarnes. He was on his 2nd grade at the time of that sickness. Now he is well and now has 2 bachelor degrees. One as a Bachelor of Technology majoring in electronics, and the other as a computer engineer. My wife and I were exposed to the virus, and we defeated the virus by using the amulet of prayer. Second episode, comrades, happened in the island of Negros. You see, I had to take the plane, and it started in Bacolod, and that's the flight. The broken line is the flight line. We had to pass the mountain, and there is the mine site at Sipalay. It's now a city in Negros Occidental. I came back to Sipalay Mines after a long absence. I went to Bacolod from time to time, and one time I would go back to Sipala using the company plane flown by Captain Carlos Alves. I always call him Kaloy. We are both senior staff in the mine site. The weather was clear, and when we reached the right altitude, the engine sputtered. The plane missed the regular preventive maintenance check in Manila. Captain Alves told me to remain calm, for we were taking the route over the sea. I was calm. Captain Alves took a higher altitude so that if the engine went kaput, we could glide while passing over the mountain. The engine stopped sputtering when we reached the higher altitude, and then it stopped for a few seconds. I don't know why. Then Captain Alves had the engine running again. I was in continuous prayer, but I was calm. I saw the mountain below. We passed the mountain, and we're a few hundred feet higher. And then we saw the gravel runway at a distance while the engine sputtered again. But this time, Captain Alves was laughing. I joined in the laugh. We came down the runway. It was an uneventful journey, except for the broken engine. The fate of the plane was in the hands of Captain Alves. He succeeded in bringing down the plane. Our lives were in the hands of God. God was kind during that moment. God is kind always. Comrades, I mentioned two names. One was Dr. Rogelio Libarnes. He is a very kind doctor. I heard that he's still alive because my grandnephew, Ben Paredes, was consulting him on his health problem. And Kaloy, I heard that you are managing a plane company somewhere in Cagayan. I hope you live long. I hope the two of you live long. You're very good people and you're part of my life. I will always remember you. But to continue the story, the amulet worked 2 times. But a few days later, I was kicked out from the company because of the long absence that I made. So that's life. You cannot win all the time, comrades. So this is Aurelio Paredes Bautista.